Well, the big story that we are tracking at the top of this hour: in rare airstrikes, Pakistan targeted multiple suspected hideouts of the Pakistani Taliban inside Afghanistan, killing at least 46 people, including women and children. These strikes, targeting a mountainous area in Paktika province bordering Pakistan, reportedly aim to target alleged hideouts and training facilities of the Pakistani Taliban, known as Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, or the TTP. This is reportedly the second such Pakistani attack on Afghanistan, the last being in March in the border regions inside Afghanistan. Now, Islamabad often claims that the TTP use Afghan soil to launch attacks in Pakistan, a charge Kabul has denied. Afghanistan has vowed to retaliate to the Pakistani airstrikes, saying the bombing targeted civilians, including women and children, mostly being refugees from the Waziristan region.
Late on Tuesday, sounds of explosions rocked a mountainous region in Afghanistan. According to reports, Pakistan targeted multiple suspected hideouts of the Pakistani Taliban inside its neighboring nation. The strikes were carried out in the Paktika province bordering Pakistan, killing at least 46 people, including women and children. Reports quoting Pakistani officials suggest that the strikes also dismantled a training facility and killed some insurgents. It was reportedly the second such Pakistani attack on alleged hideouts of the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan since March in the border regions inside Afghanistan. Islamabad often claims that the TTP use Afghan soil to launch attacks in Pakistan, a charge Kabul has denied. Just last week, Pakistan had said that at least 16 soldiers were killed in clashes with militants near the Afghan border. The Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan had reportedly claimed responsibility for the deadly raid. Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan was formed in 2007 as an umbrella organization of various hardline Sunni Islamist groups operating individually in Pakistan. Formed under the leadership of Baitullah Mahsood, who has since died, the TTP is rooted along the Afghanistan-Pakistan border. Some estimates suggest TTP has between 30,000 and 35,000 members. According to the United Nations, its stated objective is to overthrow the elected government of Pakistan to establish an emirate based on the interpretation of Islamic law. The Afghan government has condemned the Pakistani airstrikes and said they won't go unanswered. The strikes come hours after Pakistan's Special Representative for Afghanistan, Mohammad Sadiq, traveled to Kabul to discuss a range of issues, including how to enhance bilateral trade and improve ties. With Vishal Vivek, Bureau Report for NDTV World.
Well, we'll try and understand the consequences of these attacks. And to give us some context, I'm currently joined by an Afghan journalist, Khushal Asefi. Khushal, just put it into context for us, this escalation that has taken place. What does this mean in the larger context?
Thank you very much for having me in the show. I convey my greeting to all the viewers of India TV and your guest in the panel. This is not the first time that Pakistan attacked Afghanistan. Actually, Pakistan has attacked Afghan soil since the establishment of Pakistan in 1974. The country has violated Afghanistan's sovereignty many times, contributing instability within Afghanistan. 2 days ago, they have also took the responsibility of attacking an Afghan employee's vehicle that they were carrying India consulate in Jalalabad. They have attacked an translator and 2 and 3 of the of the Twitter account, which is related to Pakistan intelligence services. They have took the responsibility and said that Mr. Dawood was our target, our direct target. 1 week ago, the Pakistan Defense Minister, Mr. Khushal Asefi, has also said that Mahmoud Ghaznavi is a looter. Mahmoud Ghaznavi is a thief. Actually, Mahmoud Ghaznavi is our national hero. He's a part of our rich history. These all allegations and these are all the things that they have done in the past 2-3 weeks against Afghanistan, against Afghan soil. It does mean that they have violated international laws. It does mean that they have violated Afghanistan's sovereignty. Actually, the problem is on the ground that they cannot tackle, they cannot fight with insurgents inside Pakistan. They have very strong bases inside Pakistan, in Pakhtunkhwa, in Quetta, in Karachi, in Waziristan. Why Pakistan government is not tackling and fighting with insurgents inside Pakistan? Instead, they are coming and attacking on Afghan soil. This is just an allegation. There is no enough witness and proof that they can prove that we have killed. Actually, the number that I have until now is 51 people killed, including children, including women in Barmal and then the Pathan districts of Paktika, which is a province that has a shared border with Pakistan.
Right. All right, Khushal Asefi, thank you very much for putting everything in perspective for us. In fact, I'm also currently joined by Dr. Tara Kartha, former Director, National Security Council. I also have with me Imtiaz Gul, a senior journalist from Pakistan. My first question to you, Mr. Gul, has the TTP been further bolstered by the Islamic attacks on the Taliban government?
Certainly not. I mean, the job of a proxy terrorist group is to pick and choose the timing and venue of its choice just to create instability. And I think what Daesh or what TTP has been doing has drawn attention of all the countries, including that of China, of Russia. I mean, even if you discount Pakistan's allegations or Pakistan's complaints of what the TTP is doing on the Afghan soil, at the Security Council meeting on the 12th of December, I think both the Russians and the Chinese basically called on the Afghan government to take concrete steps against all the Afghanistan-based terrorist groups, and they named the ETIM, they named the IMU, the TTP, and Daesh. So I think I would also request, when you take journalists for commentary on your platform, they shouldn't be singing songs that are rooted in the history. They should also go by the data. So what this Mr. Farooqi was saying, it sounded so one-sided charade of allegations.
Okay.
So I think there are certain facts, realities. The reality is that right now, whether it's the United Nations report from July 2024, whether it's the Russian and Chinese and the American speeches at the UN Security Council, they all point to one reality, and that reality is that all major Al-Qaeda affiliated terrorist groups are right now based in Afghanistan, and one of them, that is the TTP, is continuously attacking Pakistani targets. So this is what the Pakistani Air Force apparently tried to take out the sanctuaries of the TTP in Paktika provinces, that is the east of Afghanistan.
All right, Dr. Tara Kartha, you heard Mr. Gul. Do respond to him, but also another big question that arises here is that is Kabul enabling TTP to launch attacks on the Pakistani soil?
I think Mr. Gul is an extremely respected journalist, but I would disagree with one thing.
Okay.
Saudi Arabia has just opened an embassy it's embassy, if you want to call it, in Afghanistan. The Russians are dealing well with Kabul. The Chinese are dealing well with Kabul. So Kabul's terrorist groups are definitely, they are trying to take on the various other groups like the ISIS and things, and they have some capability. They're trying to do the best they can. But to your question, Kabul doesn't have an entire grip. I mean, no government in Kabul has ever had complete grip on the country. So a lot of the fringes, which is why Pakistan was able to launch its own jihadi operations for decades. I mean, Mr. Gul, I would ask you, since 1974, Pakistan has made life pretty miserable for the Afghans. So they have a stake here. But apart from that, the Tehreek-e, the TTP is largely Pakistani. They are not them. Very few are Afghans. They are all people who are based in the tribal regions. So if they are attacking their own places, they have probably, I mean, you had some very, very severe attacks recently. I think the number given is 785 terrorist attacks in the last 10 months. So therefore, the Pakistan army has to do something, though I have not understood why they did this at a time when the special envoy was in Kabul talking of peace and cooperation and all the rest of it. And on the other hand, you launch airstrikes. There seems to be some kind of mismatch between these two policies. So it's a very puzzling thing. I don't know how it's going to benefit
No, it's
Islamabad
puzzling
because
because
the
you are not
Taliban.
aware of the entire situation, I would say, just because you are not aware that the TTP chief lives in Kabul as an official guest. The other leaders live in Paktia and Paktika. They are there treated as official guests. So all the logistical support that they require for launching terrorist attacks inside Pakistan, they get from inside Afghanistan. I'm not saying that the Afghan Taliban are directly supporting them in carrying out terrorist activities. They say that we have forbidden everybody from launching terrorist activities across the border. But then it's very difficult for a country like Afghanistan to plug the holes on the border. It's a 2,600 kilometer long border. So I think I would request to also focus on the current situation rather than going back to the 1970s and the 1980s when the CIA basically had started arming and funding all the Afghan Mujahideen against the Soviet Union. So this is a dividend from that jihad that the Americans had launched against the Soviet Union. Today, of course, Pakistan committed a lot of mistakes. Pakistan has had its share of contribution basically in the jihad as well as its share of suffering at the hands of terrorist groups like TTP.
Mr. Gul.
So we should rationalize discourse. I mean, you being an academic, I think should have a much comprehensive, much broader picture rather than just lunging into Pakistan by using the outdated information.
Okay, we'll get a response from Dr. Kartha, but my question is Pakistan's relationship with Afghanistan. It has deteriorated in the past couple of years. Will this attack on the TTP dent its relationship with Kabul further?
You're asking me?
No, that's for Mr. Gul.
Okay.
I don't think so. The relationship had remained frozen for almost a year and a half, just because, particularly in September last year, when the TTP crossed the red line and Pakistan conveyed its protest to the Taliban government, and thereafter the formal relationship basically froze. And now, after such a long time, the newly appointed Ambassador Sadiq visited Kabul 2 days ago, and he had a very, very candid conversation, and that was an indication that even the Afghan government basically was ready to cooperate in counterterrorism. And, they can ignore Pakistan's demands for conclusive action against the TTP, but they certainly cannot ignore what the Russian and what the Chinese ambassadors at the UN Security Council said on the 12th of December as far as terrorist groups inside Afghanistan are concerned. So either you accept those, and even the United Nations report from July this year, as well as the US annual report that was released a few days ago, they all point just to one reality, that there are groups based in Afghanistan who are now carrying out terrorist activities across the borders of Afghanistan.
Okay, Dr. Kartha, your response to that, a very quick response to that. Also, this entire turmoil in the neighborhood, should India be concerned?
India should certainly be concerned because any conflict along our periphery is bad news for a variety of reasons, including, I will say, with Mr. Gul knows, even your polio campaign can't go through in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa areas. There are new variants of polio coming out, and these things spread very fast. Disease is endemic. I mean, that's a separate issue. Mr. Gul, what I'm trying to tell you is what the Taliban are saying is that this is your problem. The TTP are Pakistanis. They are from your country. Just about 100 kilometers down, you've got Lucky Marwat, where the police have rebelled against the army because it is interfering. They're saying, leave us alone, we'll sort this conflict out. You've got the Pashtun Tahaffuz movement, which wants peace in the neighborhood, and he's being locked down. So it is a case of, to my view, it is a case of bad handling of an issue where you are creating the terrorist acts. That's what the Taliban are telling you. It's your problem. You are creating this. And if you're going to say
Well,
that
they
everybody,
came and
and by
butchered
the way,
16
sorry, the
Pakistani
UN
soldiers 2 days
resolution
ago.
is talking about the the Islamic State and its various factions. It's talking about certainly about IMU. Islamic State, the Taliban is doing the best it can, which Russia has acknowledged. That is why it's so friendly. China has acknowledged that Taliban is doing what it can against these international terrorist
All right.
groups. The TTP comes in a different segment. That's all.
All right, we're extremely running short of time, Dr. Kartha and Mr. Imtiaz Gul. Thank you very much for speaking to NDTV.